Well, let's call our January operations meeting to order. Welcome, everybody. Do a roll of attendance here. Tony Sadowski.
Karen Krieger.
Charlie Martin here.
Members present. Move on to approval of the agenda. Be it resolved, the Centennial School District Operations Committee 3.1 approves the January 16th, 2026 Operations Committee agenda as per the attached. Are there any changes, corrections that need to be made that are allowed by PA law? I have a second.
One.
Yes, sir.
I don't believe Mrs. Brancato is going to be involved.
It seems very unlikely that Mrs. Brancato will be
So I think,
involved in any way.
I hate to
Yeah.
say she should be removed.
Other than
but,
the
from the
other than the
agenda
name.
anyway.
We will
No
do
problem.
that for sure.
But as amended to remove our erstwhile former director. Do I have a second to approve the amended?
Seconded.
All right, all in favor? Aye. 3-0. And on to approval of minutes. 4.1 approves the minutes from the Operations Committee meeting held November 14th, 2025.
Name changes the first.
Same, yeah, other than Mrs. Brancato's name notwithstanding.
Was she in November's?
She was, yes.
This is who's doing it today, so.
No,
There was one of them that she,
okay.
oh, that's
okay,
true.
gotcha.
Yeah, it's true. She didn't attend the last one,
Yeah.
so.
But I just, sorry, I just printed it out, I didn't.
No, sure, her name had been there. It's all good.
Understood. We'll do
Um,
that.
Okay, yeah, otherwise, I'm fine to move that forward. Did we get a second on that? Did you second that?
Yep, second.
Perfect. All in favor? Aye.
All
All right, presentations.
right, not a lot going on. Just a few updates, and I left a few things on this slide deck that were on previous, just to update our newest members on what's kind of still out there and hanging out there. Bus Patrol, I've got all of the agreements back. Ivyland, Warminster, Southampton's came back to me this week. It's at Bus Patrol. They have to sign it. They'll get it back, and then I'll forward that back to Southampton's solicitor, and we'll be full go. They are in the process of setting up training with the police stations to get them trained on the system so we can go live. We picked sometime in February, as soon as everybody's trained and everybody's up to speed on how it works and how they have to approve, violations or whatever, we will announce a live date, but we're expecting like the second week of February to go live. So any questions with that? I believe they're down to the last couple buses being installs. They were there yesterday. There's one or two guys there today to try and finish all of the installs. So, and we just got our last of our 2 new buses on Friday, so that added to their workload. So we have
Great.
all 3 buses that you approved on property now, and they'll be in full use as soon as that's installed. So
Good news.
one thing I wanted to bring up that I would like you to take for consideration and maybe talks with the remainder of the board is there is a grant system out there right now. If approved, the state would handle 75% of the cost of the project. But the problem with this, and I know where we're at in budgeting right now and where the school district is, we have to provide a letter up front saying we are committed to pay 25% of the project. So I want to I put a couple examples on here. These are some of our larger projects that are going to come in the next 3 to 4 years easily. We are repairing those roofs and keeping them running, especially the Klinger roof. So if you could pick one, I would suggest Klinger. If we wanted to pick a HVAC unit at William Tennant for the pool, that one we've been kind of keeping going too. That's a $400,000 project just because it takes a crane to put that unit on the roof, and what I'm asking is maybe you think about a dollar amount that you'd be comfortable with, if any at all, and maybe we can find a project to meet that 25% dollar amount. So if you said we can only afford $250,000, then I try and find $1 million project to go with. If you can only $100,000, we go with the 400. So what I'm asking is maybe you think that's from now to March is the deadline to put those in. There's a March date, so we have a little bit of time to think about do we have the money to put forward? Because it's hard, it'd be hard to turn down a 75% cost on a project if we can figure it out. So I just wanted to, that's out there and available. So I just want, yes.
I have a question. Is there a reserve fund for things like roof replacements, equipment replacements? Is that money set aside?
Yes.
So when you ask whether there's funding, do we know how much is sitting in the reserve for these types of?
Off the top of my head, I don't have a dollar amount exactly that Tom has in our capital reserve, but and it might be on this later slide. I hadn't thought, that's a great question. But it still has to be approved by the board, obviously. So.
Right, but it makes it much easier.
Yeah.
If it's sitting in the budget and we can say, yeah, the
Agreed.
money's here to be done.
No, agreed. So I just wanted to put that out there so you can have that conversation or know that it's available. And we don't need an answer on it now, but February would be great, so I can get that in and have it in, sometime in February would be great.
Maybe
So.
you can talk to Tom so that when we bring it up to the next board meeting, we already have the answer that says,
Yep.
yes, the money's set aside in the reserve.
I'll find out what's left in our capital reserve for the year and for this year. So, and I would believe, well, if we committed it, we wouldn't be doing, I don't know when the approval would be, so it might even be next year's budget that would have to come out of. But if we didn't use $1 million of this year's budget, it's gonna slide and we're not refunding that on, so it's there. But I appreciate that, that's great. So every 6 months, which I found out were not quite happening, unfortunately, we are supposed to do a periodic inspection of the asbestos that we still have remaining in Log College and Klinger. But we did get that back on schedule with our engineering Barazet, and they did an inspection. They found one spot at Klinger that had some water damage and was starting to come apart. So we went ahead. They actually they found that late December. We just had it fixed last night after hours by Bristol Environmental, who has done all of our other repairs and things like that, just because it's not something you want to leave out there, right? It's fraying. So they did that. But one thing I did realize is that we were not, that the last years when I looked to see where our inspections were and update our webpage to where our asbestos status was, that they had not been doing them. So they're back on schedule now. But this is what we found, and there's the repair that they completed. One thing I do want to put together is maybe a 3 or 5 year plan for full abatement of everything. And that probably depends on what, hey, if it's a 3-year plan, what's it cost us every year? Does that need to be a 5-year plan? Does it need to be a 7-year plan? So once I have the numbers of our full, what we have square footage left in flooring and piping, wrap, and we can get full removal of it and never have to do those again, we'll know what it costs. We can spread that out in a 5-year plan or a 3-year plan. So just so you know, I'm working on that plan also to give you more information of what the cost might be and moving forward with that. Okay. So more to come. One thing that I know, Mr. Sadowski, you're aware of, a few months back, the Child Care Center in front of the bus garage contacted us about changing the plot lines on those two properties. And if you look at it, on the right shows the property that the Child Care Center owns. And our buses, our gas tanks, our propane tank, somewhere there was an agreement done. I can't find it anywhere in the history of the district for us to use that portion of their property for our transportation center. And the only thing I can figure that was in that agreement was this is a landscaper uses this building out here. He rents that, but he pays it to them, even though it's on our property. So somewhere there was a handshake agreement done or even paperwork done for us to be able to use that. I'm assuming for them to offset that, they get the rent from that building. So that's all the history I can find on it. Even nobody knows. Our solicitor has no idea. So what's happening is our two solicitors, and I know the new solicitor just got that stuff this week. They're working with the child care center's lawyers to try and redraw these lines. And what we're proposing is that they want us to take this over. So I don't know if they want us to buy it. They just want to give it to us. I don't know if they want this property. We don't know that yet. That's why the lawyers are together talking it. But this is in works to try and figure this whole thing out, just so you know.
Did they go back and look at the deeds from when the school district sold the property to whoever bought it back in the day, years ago?
I did not, but we put it in the solicitor's hands and hoping they could find some history, and we couldn't find any history on it.
Limit how many hours he can spend doing that. I mean,
Yeah, right?
not open-ended there.
But here's the funniest thing, look, we own this building. That is an actual property line where that corner of the property goes through our building. Like how is this, like it just makes no sense. But just so you know, that's out there, so if you hear about it, anybody's talking about it, that we're working on trying to resolve that and hopefully own. I mean, this is all part of a property that nobody's using right now that's theirs. It's not paved, it's not developed. If we could get that, we don't have enough parking. We are parking cars everywhere. We would love to have this portion of the property from here back. But that depends on what's it gonna take? Do they just wanna redraw lines because they wanna sell the front property? We don't know that yet. And we haven't got all that information. That's what I'm assuming. They wanna do something with that. So it's more to come on that. And there you go. It shows it again. Different, so. Capital update, which I think there is not many changes at the moment. Here's where the two things I'm working on, or the one thing I'm working on is still, you approved the forward on planning the FCS. They're coming out on January 23rd to do final measurements of those two rooms and start design and layout of those two, update of those two rooms. So that's in works. I'm hoping to get that done within the next few months, so if approved, we can accomplish that this summer. And that's part of what's in the capital fund also. And then I just continue to update our 10-year capital project plan. And it's hard to read on here, so if you would all like a copy of that, and I think you've got it through Tom probably, the capital plan and what I'm suggesting needs to be done, year 27, year 28, year 29, I can share that. I'll share that with you so you can read it, because this is hard to read on this slide. So I'll share that document with you.
I have a question. Has there been any talk? Yesterday I was at Lod College and I took a tour of it with regard to the kitchen for the classrooms. There's a classroom where the teacher teaches, I guess, cooking.
Well, so that's the FCS room.
That was the Family Consumer Science.
It's called Family Consumer Science instead of home ec or whatever it's called. So yeah, that's what this.
Karen, for like the past several years, we've been talking about a plan to finally renovate those rooms because they're well overdue. Yeah. At both schools, both middle schools.
So that's what we're in works on, figuring out final cost for each one, design and final cost. Hopefully we have that in the next couple months, so if we can go out to bid and hopefully do that sometime this summer, because they're obviously full summer projects because they can't be done, there's too much going on.
Is Mr. Golder aware of it? Because he brought that up in terms
He
of
is.
saying to me, if ask me for what my want is,
He is.
that's my want, to fix that, the cooking room.
So he is, because he's asked me what the timeline was, and I said, as soon as I know, they're doing measurements now for design, what I'm gonna do is involve him and the teachers when the first design comes out, so they can look at it and say, no, we want this, we want that. I have inputs from him, so yes, he is aware of what's going on and everything. So is Klinger. They're aware of what's going on and everything also. Well, here we go, budget. Let's see if there's something in here.
Jim, I have one question as well. Are these lists of projects broken down? When I was at the county, we had 3 categories of things you must do, things you should do, and things would be nice to do. Or they broke it down, because we have limited funds to work with, even though hopefully we'll be getting more as we get some expertise in that department. But we are limited, so it'd be nice to know, some of those things are nice things, but they aren't, they're not urgent to do right now, and then there are some that are, we have to do them. Like this pipe, you did a great job with this project. That was great. Is that broken down or identified as to what category they would fall in that
So
matrix?
on the slide that I showed you, it's hard to read. I have not only have spread things out over years to try and not spend $10 million in 1 year, right? I've also highlighted what their priority and projection of, if we don't do it this year, hey, it's really crucial from 2 years from now. But so when I get that slide to you, you'll be able to hopefully, and if you have more questions regarding that, once you read that slide, then please feel free, email me back and ask for clarification on that also.
In the past, we've had things come up, new rugs, new furniture for the library. I mean, they're nice things, but the kids could still read a book in the chair they have, you know,
Yes.
using the.
Yeah, the arm's not falling off the chair. It's
Right, but
okay.
just so we do what we need to do, the other
Agreed.
things, if we can do them, we'll do them.
Agreed. All right, things to be taken forward to the board. The only two things that we have are IT related, so I'm gonna ask the both of you to talk to those, both things that are taken, and what they are, and the money it costs, and how that works, so.
There's two different things that we want to purchase. The first one is for switches. It's we call it internal connections. We sent out to bid for that. We got three responses. The lowest response was 1.131. We also get E-rate, so we do get a percentage back. So the district roughly cost would be 271. This will replace the infrastructure of our switches. They're 8 to 10 years old, so they're overdue. That's the first one. The second one is for a backup solution. Right now, we do it in-house. We have a piece of equipment that's at the high school that we back everything up. This is a Rubik maintenance solution that would be going through Cheshire County IU, and the advantage of that is we have no equipment here. Everything's cloud-based. So they're the two ones.
I have one thing. With the first one, wasn't that approved? Was that approved in the budget already, and there's gonna be a savings based on what was already approved, or am I?
Correct. That was in the budget for a mill in the
Yep.
capital project, and it should be less. It's going to be well below that.
So that's in the that money was put aside $1 million in the capital reserve already, where you can't move it back to operations already. And they found with E-rate that the cost is gonna be somewhere around 271, not $1 million, just so you know, to understand that. So it is money that's kind of already earmarked for something, and they've found a way to save on that $1 million.
And that covers labor as well as equipment?
Correct.
Is there a maintenance piece also that's?
It's
in there?
tied in 3 years, 3 years maintenance.
The life expectancy is 8 to 10 again for this stuff.
Yep.
And then I'm not too sure about any questions on the second one.
You have any questions on that? Just a backup solution.
Is that a one-time savings or is that an annual?
That's a one-time savings because we don't have to purchase the equipment. Any other questions?
Everybody okay moving these ahead for a vote?
Yes.
All right.
All right.
That's that. I try and make them short and sweet and to the point. Any further questions on anything?
One question, with regard to what is done on a cash basis versus, amortized over the useful life. My understanding is the only area that can be amortized is food services. services, is that correct?
I cannot answer that for you. That's more of the business office. Not the operations side. So I don't know that for sure.
Because then I wonder if it's food services and that's the case, the replacement of the kitchens for the classrooms, do they fall under that or not?
No, I don't believe so. No, I'm pretty sure they don't fall under what Lori has under the food services through the state and all that stuff. Yeah. So, all right.
Motion to adjourn?
I like this committee.
Not bad, right? We try to keep it moving.
Charlie said he had to leave before noon, so you got good.
Charlie, you are good, man. You had lunch by 11:30. You're good to
Mr.
go.
Sadowski will tell you, I don't usually waste too much time.
No, we like to keep.
Yeah. We all have things to do.